Just right straight? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to hold it or?
Go for it.
Welcome, I'm Patrina Gentile with Globe Drive, and I'm here at Tesla's main office in Ontario. Tesla is once again spreading its wings. They have brought to Toronto the all-new Model X. This is the world's first all-electric SUVs, and I'm here with one of the customers. This is Jesse Wilson. He put down $5,000 nearly 2 years ago to drive this vehicle. So Jesse, have you ever driven a Tesla before?
I drove the Model S about 6 months ago and it was very exciting, very fast.
So this is your chance, first time ever, getting into it. Let's take it for a spin.
Yes, excellent. This will be fun.
Now we have a couple of people along for the ride. We have Martin here with Tesla Motors. And we also have Jody, Jesse's wife. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to make any comments on our Facebook page. And Jordan, who is our online editor and the operator of the camera today, will send them our way and we'll answer them as we drive along. So let's get started. This I love because you just put the foot on the brake, the door closes automatically, and you can just start off driving. It's already on, which is incredible.
And the car is very silent, so we can sneak up on people on the sidewalk as we go.
So why did you want to buy this? Why did you want to buy the Model X, Jesse?
So I've always been the guy who's like saying, do we really need more SUVs? We gotta, save the world, avoid carbon monoxide, and so when my wife and I were thinking about starting a family, the minivan conversation came up, and the minivan conversation is terrifying. Jody, do we need a minivan? Do we need a minivan? Which minivan will we get? And the choices are all bad. And so we decided that we would try to get something. I wanted something that was going to be really good for the environment. She wanted something that was going to be, sporty, like an SUV. And so we decided that we would try the Model X because it's all the sportiness that she wants, and all the sort of environmental, not burning tons of gas that I was looking for.
All right, we're starting to get some questions in on Facebook already, and most of them pertain to the panoramic windshield and the skylights. So I'll start with Jesse here. How do you like it so far?
It's wonderful. I would love to take a drive in this car at night, just because we can see not just the road in front of me, but everything up above. And so, take a nice romantic drive in a starry night, and you'd have a beautiful view.
And you have a sun visor here that just comes out as well and attaches to the to the rear view mirror.
Now, Martine, we're not driving in a particularly sunny day right now. It's cloudy out. How do these skylights or the panoramic windshields work when it's really sunny out?
That's a great question. So the glass, or the top portion of the glass, actually blocks 99% of the UV rays. So it will block the heat and the light that you have from the outside. In addition to that, the Model X's will also come with a sunshade, which you can install if it's an extremely bright day, and what that will do is that will block the higher portion of the windshield, because you do feel that it's a bit brighter. But those sun visors as well are quite practical, and they expand as well to cover more space in the windshield.
How's it handling so far, Jesse?
It handles very smoothly, but it's a little bit awkward to get used to because the braking and the gas pedal work differently than in my gas car. When I let my foot up on the gas, the car immediately slows down, and that's because the regenerative braking is kicking in. So it drives a little bit differently, but it drives sort of like a little bit more naturally. Just push the gas down, and the car goes fast.
Now, Jesse, have you ever driven an electric vehicle before?
So I drove the Model S at the Yorkdale Tesla store 6 months ago, and it was a real sort of excitement to drive, and that was really what kind of kept me interested in this car. It was really fast.
It's 0 to 103.4 seconds in a ludicrous mode. I know.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to be trying that.
Sorry.
We have another question. Someone's asking about the battery pack. Does the Model S have the same battery pack as the Model S?
They both do. So both the Model S and Model X are offered with either a 70 kilowatt hour battery pack or a 90 kilowatt hour battery pack. The difference there would be either approximately 300 or 400 kilometers on a single charge.
Now, Jesse, you want to be green, and I understand that and I admire that, but there is a hefty price tag. Starting at $119,000, the model we have here today is the P90D. You're looking closer to $170,000. That really kind of puts it out of the range for many consumers out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and when you say that, I'm thinking, well, what are we going to do? It's definitely an investment, and I think that the way I rationalize that, or the way I think about that, is that all of the other expenses that go into your car, your oil changes, and constantly filling up with gas, disappear. Especially like right now, we're thinking gas prices are really low, and that's wonderful, but we have no idea what the gas prices are going to be 5 years from now. And when I buy a vehicle like this, I'm buying it for a very long time.
Now, you put your order in almost 2 years ago for this car, and this is the first time you're actually driving it, correct?
Yes.
Now, just give us your sort of initial like,
Yeah.
how excited are you to be in this car driving it right now?
It's a little bit overwhelming. This is definitely different than my Fiesta. So the
That's a big upgrade from your Fiesta. Wow.
yeah, exactly. The fact that it drives like an electric car instead of driving like a gas car, that is definitely a big adjustment. It's the same sort of adjustment I'd have, say, from going from a stick shift to an automatic, where it's just like a different kind of mindset. And then the car itself has just a completely different feel than the car I'm used to. You know, I'm used to having like a big, ugly plastic stereo. Instead, I've got this beautiful map showing me the Toronto, and then I can, you know, change the options. If I want to turn the music on, I can turn on Slacker radio and, you know, listen to some music really easily. It's not like the systems in normal cars. And then I guess the other thing is that it's really fast. So so that's fun, and I have to use that responsibly.
Now, Jody, you want to start a family.
Yes.
And, you know, a minivan, you said, maybe not that cool for you. Does this bring the cool factor to you? Because you have the 7 seats and these funky Vulcan wing doors.
Definitely. This is like the coolest minivan that you could want. The tech is amazing. And it's got actually a lot more options than a minivan does in terms of flexibility for seats. Because on top of starting a family, we also have a big dog. So being able to put him in the back there would be really easy compared to what we have right now.
But the infrastructure isn't quite there yet. Is that a concern for you? Are you worried about range anxiety and running out of juice on a road trip with the kids?
I'm not really too worried. As far as road trips for us, we do a lot of trips down into the States, and the infrastructure is already like up pretty well down there. And then for around here, we would probably head north, and I know that it's already set up for us. Like, we live in Waterloo. For us to stop in Toronto is an easy stop on the way. So.
And it's free if you go to the
Yeah,
Tesla
exactly.
office, right? You don't have to pay for the
Exactly.
electricity either. Another bonus.
Exactly.
Now, would you apply also for the rebates that are out there? I mean, depending on where you live, you can qualify
Yeah,
for up to
totally.
$8,500. I mean, I guess it's a small little portion of the fee, but it does help.
It
in
really
some way.
encourages people to try the different technology, right? Like, it's definitely something that we would look into, for sure.
Now, Jesse, talk about some of your favorite features of this car. Like why this one in particular? There's a lot of cool features. We have the Falcon Wing doors, we have the seating for 7, we have the incredibly fast acceleration time.
There's like a bunch of features in this car that are just really subtle, really nice touches. And when you try them, you're like, oh, of course that's how it works. One example that I really like, I saw this when I test drove the Model S, is when you take the charging plug and you want to plug the car in, you just bring the charging plug next to the car, and the little door that has the power plug in it opens automatically. So you just hold the plug up to the door. I think you push a button on the charging cable, and then the little door opens and you can plug your car in. And there's lots of like little details like that about this car where the design is a lot of it's like they've designed it from scratch, and they thought, let's look at every single decision that every single other car does, and let's think of it differently. I mean, I already talked about the touchscreen being completely different than the radio in every other car. even the heads-up display here, it's showing me the other cars on the road. So it's showing me, there's a Toyota in front of me, and I see that car not only with my eyes but also here, and that tells me that the car sees it. And so if I'm if I'm driving and I'm distracted, the car will actually sense the car in front of me and it will apply the brakes for me. And that's a really exciting safety feature that I feel like when I'm thinking about what are the things that I will like not regret about buying a Tesla, it's things like the safety features in the autopilot will if they work just once, then that could make everything worth it.
But Jesse, you could buy like a couple minivans, 5, 6 minivans for the same price.
I don't have use for 5 or 6 minivans. The other thing about a vehicle like this is just how much time you're spending in your car. I'm pretty fortunate right now. I've got a relatively short commute. Jody's got a little bit of a worse commute, and then when we're thinking about having our family, it's going to be spending a lot of time in the car. And so the car becomes second home, and so you think about like, what are the things we care about in this like place we're going to spend so much time, where we're going to be spending time with our kids and with our kids' friends, and it's things like safety. And I think this is one of the safest SUVs ever made. Yeah.
All right, we're just going to take one more question from Facebook and then wrap this up and let you enjoy some of the drive without actually answering questions. Someone's asking on Facebook, is the screen intuitive and easy to navigate for the driver?
Yes, I think so. I haven't had enough experience using it in practice, but I don't think I'm going to have much problems with it. I'm gonna learn it. It will be something I have to pick up.
And I've used it before. I've used the Model S. I've driven it with the autopilot system, and I can attest to the fact it is very intuitive. It's very user-friendly. I think Martin showed me once, and I was like, ooh, playing around with it. Mm-hmm. You can monitor, how you're doing with the electric range, the power. So it's very impressive. And again, it's the same chassis, the same platform as the Model S. I don't know if you did have a chance to drive the autopilot system, but that is quite incredible. The car can steer itself, it can change lanes by itself, it can parallel park and perpendicular park itself as well, and that's only a $3,500 option, so very, very impressive. One quick question before we go. Jesse, are you sold? Are you going to buy one?
I think that we're ready to go and price one out, but I'll have to figure out what options we want and what it costs.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.